Well, the Freedom Cowboys have already punched their ticket to the national championship on Saturday night, and all that's left to answer is who will they face off against? Will it be a rematch of last week's Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship and their in-conference and interstate rival of homeschool programs in the Tennessee Heat, or will the Panthers punch their ticket to their second straight appearance in the national championship and looking to get vengeance for their loss in last year's title game? It's the Tennessee Heat and the Panthers here in the semifinal. You see that the Panthers will receive the ball first in this Division I semifinal in the 2024 National Championship Tournament for high school 8-man football. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Eli Cornett. Theodore Fernandez joins us on the sidelines. Proud to be with you in Vernon, Florida. Eli, very much an anticipated matchup here in this semifinal. The nightcap very much know exactly what they were doing when scheduling this, and it's because of so many great stars. And we'll start with the Panthers, who were in the title game last year, and they won against the Tennessee Heat, the semifinal 38-24. And it's in a big part to the returning juniors from last year. They're seniors this year in players like Jance Lamb, Cam Yeomans, Kyler Barkley. Just so many stars on both sides of the ball.
So many stars on that Panther side of the football. We saw them in Gatlinburg open up the season against the Freedom Cowboys. So really excited to see this Panthers team come out here and perform. And also, another storyline to this game, both teams looking back to get a little bit of payback against the Freedom Cowboys in that championship. The Heat, obviously, we called that game last week. They're looking to get back to potentially win the national championship, along with getting that Independence Trophy back against the Freedom Cowboys. Pack looking back to get against Freedom as they did in the first game in Gatlinburg in the Black Bear Brawl. So we're in for a good one tonight with Pack and the Heat, with this one about to get underway.
14-12, the final score on that regular season matchup between the Cowboys and the Panthers. But first things first, Pack has to get it done, and that's what Coach Yeomans was telling us before the game, of that it was a great semi, and they were willing to face off against anybody, but this is the job now, as the Tennessee Heat will kick it off.
And as Coach said, he was very excited to watch that previous game, but he's focused on the game tonight. He really enjoyed the game prior, but he's really focused on this game tonight.
Foster kicked it off, and we are underway on the return, and we should be able to welcome our third member of our broadcast crew, Theodore Fernandez, on the sideline. Theo? Coach Yeomans was talking about that, and I even asked him, what does it feel to be coaching with your son? We'll finish that in a second. Quick toss right side. Catch made. Kyle McFarland for the Panthers, and they're already on the move with a gain of about 7 yards.
McFarland, another guy that Coach Yeomans brought up that has been really good for his offense this year as Chance Lamb completes that pass. So really excited to see what this offense looks like. Resulting to the passing game on that first play. Pack usually a really heavy run team, but going to spread it out and get that ball to McFarland on that one.
Yeah, Coach was very much complimentary of his son and mentioned that they still have conversations in the car on the way home, exchange notes, nothing just of silence in that regard, but enjoy the experience nonetheless. Here is Yeomans right on cue. He'll head up for the first down.
Yeah, and Yeomans, direct snap to Yeomans, going right up the gut, able to get to that secondary and pick up that first down for the Panthers. Looking to get a fast start tonight against Tennessee Heat. Tennessee Heat, really good defensive performance last week against the Freedom Cowboys. Sam Hill is their leader on the Tennessee Heat with 76 tackles, 49 solo of those, 1 sack and 1 fumble recovery. Those stats should be updated due to the game last week, but Sam Hill, one of the big leaders for the Tennessee Heat.
The Pack Panthers having theirs updated from last week's game in the SIFA championship. They actually, the conference moved it back this year instead of like last year where they played the national championship and then won the SIFA game on the Saturday afterwards. So playing three games in the span of 8 days. Impressive for them to get that accomplishment done. And any player you talk to, any coach you talk to, they want to play another game. Doesn't matter what form or circumstance it is. As Pack Panthers get a 2nd down and 7, and it's a quarterback keeper in the direct snap. Carry up, it's Jance Lamb who will carry it for a handful of yards, or actually he'll get back to the line of scrimmage for 3rd down.
Yeah, Chance Lamb able to gain a few yards on that one, setting up a 3rd down and long. Look for a Chance Lamb pass here. Probably going to go to either Yeomans or Barkley, 2 of the big key guys, along with number 0, Gage Taylor. He's also another guy that's mainly run the ball, but I wouldn't doubt him to get a pass play here.
You can see on the backdrop of the camera shot the Heat faithful with their I don't know what the proper name of
Noisemakers.
Noisemakers. Yeah.
Bam Bam Sticks.
Bam Bam Sticks. Thank you, James. And using that on the other side. Keeper again up the middle. That's Yeomans for a carry of a couple of yards. And they stop him fairly early on the forward progress, but does get a chunk yard gain there, about 6.
I believe that was number 1, Kyler Barkley on the carry on that one. Kyler Barkley able to get up the middle, set up a 4th and short. Looks like they're going to go for it, crossing Tennessee Heat territory. This is time for the Tennessee Heat defense to rise up, potentially get a stop, and maybe go on top to start this fourth quarter. Pack Panthers been able to drive the ball pretty easily on Tennessee Heat defense tonight. We've got to see if Tennessee Heat will stand up right now.
Brings up about a 4th down and 4, and they're going to go for it across midfield and movement for the false start. Here's Nate Starr.
Tennessee Heat looked like they were trying to bring the house on that one. Just caused the jump there for the Pack Panthers.
Moves it back a couple of yards, and it looked like they were just going to go for it, so probably a punt coming up here for this Pack special teams unit.
Gotcha.
Brings it back about 5 yards. Looks like about a 4th down and 7, and they will opt to punt it away. Almost blocked there. That was Cam Yeomans who got it booted away, and this will just head down into the end zone. Looked like it was almost touchdown by James Britt. And we'll see the Tennessee Heat offense for the first time. We talked about it last week in the Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship. Elijah Eakin, the sophomore star, was their quarterback. Season-ending injury in their playoff game against the South Haven Patriots, and they were feeling his absence, but Levi Ashburn has done his job to try and take the reins at the quarterback position.
Yeah, Levi Ashburn really stepped up last week at the quarterback position, able to complete a lot of great passes to their all-conference wide receiver, Graham Russell, who has four rushes for 33 yards, also 26 receptions for 505 yards and 8 touchdowns. But White Sutton's their bell cow with 80 rushes, 771 yards, and 15 touchdowns. Luke Luchtefeld's also another guy to look for on the Tennessee Heat offense.
Encroachment there. Another 5 yards moved up. We had 2 quick penalties in these sets of drives. Tennessee Heat on their first offensive stanza. Wyatt Sutton in the backfield with Ashburn, who Sutton will get into the rest of this game. In motion there was Rocky Scott. Toss there to Sutton. Wyatt Sutton gets outside of Yeomans. Wyatt Sutton on the collision at about the 46-yard line. How about the season Wyatt Sutton has had and the workhorse he has been for this Heat offense, defense, whatever it is on the team?
Wyatt Sutton, one of their main pieces on offense, all-conference running back. When you get Wyatt Sutton out in space, watch out. Cam Yeoman's able to make that play on him, but Wyatt Sutton, very dangerous, like I just said, in open space, really big playmaker, explosive. He's able to create a lot of explosive plays. So look to Coach Ryan Scott to get him the ball early.
In motion again is Rocky Scott. Lob in the backfield to Sutton. He's got men in pursuit, and he'll get down to about the 49-yard line, a gain of a yard.
I think this is the loudest game we've had all night. Both teams really did travel for this game tonight. Big, intense, big energy. Coach Scott said he wanted to go fast in our pregame meeting with him, and right now they're going fast.
They want to control the tempo here as Scott is trying to coordinate this offense and get a play in. They swap players over to the other sides. Not an audible at the line, but it's swapping things up on the receiver position.
Yeah, Graham Russell's a guy you got to really look for down here. Rocky Scott, another deep threat for the Tennessee Heat offense. Luke Luchtefeld in the backfield. So you got three guys, three big playmakers on the field for the Tennessee Heat on this 3rd and long.
On the 2nd down, it's a keeper going up the middle. This time they trust it to Luke Luchtefeld. Luke Luchtefeld is gone! Touchdown, Tennessee Heat!
Luke Luchtefeld on the direct snap on that sweep play, and he is gone. Speed kills, like we said earlier. Luke Luchtefeld able to outrun the entire Pack Panther defense to get the first score in this semifinal game. Heat are up 6-0.
Got that stop there on 4th and out against the Pack Panthers. He managed to start strong. Similar start to what they had last week against the Freedom Cowboys. 2-point conversion attempt coming up. Actually, a PAT. Tyson O'Con to kick it, snap, set, kick. It is just inside and good. I beg your pardon. That was 32 of the Tennessee Heat who kicked it up, and it is now a 7-0. My apologies, 52 on that. Roush with the point after try. 7-0 for the Tennessee Heat with 6:35 left in the first. That's a return by Larry Reinert of the Pack Panthers. He'll get down to about the 26. You can tell the Heat special teams hyped up on that one. That was Anderson Brooks and company who got the stop, and we'll see how the Pack Panthers try to respond.
And the Heat were able to get that defensive stop. We really set up that long Luchtefeld run. So the Heat, again, for the 2nd week in a row, off to a fast start. Let's see how Cam Yeomans, Chance Lamb, and Kyler Barkley respond on this 2nd offensive drive.
A lot of offensive weapons here for the Pack Panthers, as we've talked about. Certainly Yeomans, a star on there. Barkley, Lamb, even Kyle McFarland, we called him. Sean McNulty isn't leading the team on any offensive stat category, but another one of those dangerous weapons as, hey, we'll keep this one to Chance Lamb on the left side, and we'll only get a gain of a couple of yards.
Yeah, brought down, I believe that was number 60 by the Heat.
Wogan.
Jake Wogan. Wogan with 32 tackles on the year, a half sack, and a fumble recovery. Wogan, another guy that Coach Scott really speaks highly of, alongside Sam Hill and Cannon Carter for the Tennessee Heat.
Yeah, Wogan, you just read the stats on him with 32 tackles on the season, or at least heading into the first 11 games of the year. And Wogan, another one of those names, many that will call for the Heat tonight. That's a direct snap to Lamb on the right side. Chance Lamb trying to get in space. We have a flag down, or several, around the right side, the far side from your screen, and we'll hear from Nate Starr. Yeah, most of the time when you have those big runs or runs to the outside, it's usually going to be a holding call when you see the flag.
Yeah, and something we're not seeing really common at the Tennessee Heat do, they're bringing pressure. They're really trying to stop that Pack Panther run. So great job there by the Tennessee Heat, bringing the pressure, forcing the hold. I would expect them to come out. They're playing a lot of man coverage, which you got to do against Pack, because Pack doesn't like to spread you out a lot. So you really got to play. It's really gap sound defense you got to play if you're playing the Pack Panthers tonight.
Here's Lamb again. He'll air it out in the middle. Incomplete, intended for Sean McNulty. Lamb has had several passes on the year as well. It's between him and Bennett, at least on the passing side. And couldn't get McNulty on the connection.
Yeah, just trying to hit him on a simple seam right there. He was able to roll out and get the pass off, but good job by the Tennessee Heat secondary, able to break up the pass. And we said as Coach Scott said last week, they've have a really depleted secondary with Cannon Carter out there. Cannon Carter with 16 tackles, 1 interception for 26 yards, along with number 14, Camus Schroeder, with 31 tackles, 3 interceptions. 2 of those came against the Freedom Cowboys last week. So another guy that really stepped up for him last week. Looking for another big night tonight.
So to actually add a +2 on there for Schroeder, because these stats are through the first
so
11
5
games.
interceptions,
Yep,
yes.
through the South Haven game. Move it back a couple yards. Well, 115 of you could be watching Thursday Night Football right now. Maybe you're watching it in split screen with ours. I mean, it's a good one between the Eagles and the Commanders right now, but appreciate all 115 of you joining us here on 8-Man Extreme. As it's moved back 5 yards for a 3rd and long, and on the left side trying to break free is Kyler Barkley.
Yeah, Kyler Barkley trying to get the edge. Looked like number 30 along with can't get a number right now. Looks like number 50 for the Tennessee Heat, Boone McElroy, with 5 tackles on the year, was able to get that stop. Check, that was number 60, Jake Wogan, who was able to come up with a tackle there, forcing another 3 and out for the Pack Panthers. Another hot start for the Tennessee Heat on both offense and defense with their second defensive stop here.
4th and out, forced. This will be booted away. You're seeing several of these special teams players for the Heat who are getting the pressure on, trying to block the punt. And they will just settle for this bouncing with a good second and beyond bounce all the way to about the 42-yard line. And the Heat offense will get back to work with only about 50 and change to drive down the field.
Very different game from last game. We had a really long first half. This game was kind of flying by as both offenses have been really rush heavy, which is what we expected. We've seen a few passes out of both Ashburn and Lamb. Big number 92 coming in for the Pack Panthers. Derek Priere, 42 tackles with 8.5 sacks. And I believe that is their sack leader for the Pack Panthers. So look for him to have a big night tonight up against that Tennessee Heat offensive line.
They put in motion the left side, trying to go up the middle for the rushes, Luke Luchtefeld, and he gets a carry there for a couple of yards.
Luchtefeld, another guy that he just had a touchdown. They like to share the rock between him and Wyatt Sutton. Luke Luchtefeld, brother of Aiden Luchtefeld, all-conference running back for the Tennessee Heat a couple years ago. Let's just say the genes run strong in the Luchtefeld family based off that last run.
Especially the genes run the Luchtefeld and the Sutton family have been very strong on the football side for the Heat over the years. Ashburn under pressure with 3 men chasing him down, gets the ball off in time, and a receiver in the area. Great awareness of the 3 men pressuring Ashburn.
Great awareness and great effort by Ashburn, able to get that ball out, get outside the tackle box, and get that ball across the line of scrimmage to prevent that intentional grounding call that we've seen a couple times tonight. So great job by Ashburn with this 3rd and long. Look for a pass coming up here to either Ricky Scott or Graham Russell. Graham Russell, the all-conference wide receiver. Looks like he's up top, matched up with number 31 for the Pack Panthers, Anderson Brooks.
Third down and about 5. Dump pass off on the right side. That's Wyatt Sutton. The screen pass does result in a first down past the 50.
Middle screen there to Kyle Sutton, not Carter Sutton, sorry, his brother Wyatt Sutton, who was able to pick up the first down and keep the chains moving.
You got a lot of Suttons on this team throughout the years, and all of them have performed very well for the program organization. We talked about that with Sutton and the rest of the people in Ashburn, Schroeder, and Luchtefeld as well. A lot of great family history through this organization. And they'll just give it off. That's to Maddox Mahaffey. We called him several times during the SEAC championship game last week, getting some action in on the offensive side. That was Mahaffey, who had heading into last week's championship, 9 rushes for 52 yards, started to get a little bit more active in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he's been a lot active in the last couple weeks. Really big player, Maddox Mahaffey, with 9 rushes for 52 yards. Look for him to have a big night.
To the left side, Ashburn has got the pass off and incomplete through the hands of Rocky Scott.
Yeah, going for that deep out, trying to get him out of bounds right there. Great job by the Pack Panther DB to stay on top of that. Even though it was a little bit of overthrow, great job to stay in position. Coach Scott said they're going to go fast, and they're going fast right now. Look for a dose of Wyatt Sutton here on 3rd down.
We talked about it all season long about teams like the Heat and other organizations trying to control the tempo. And Heat trying to do that as well. The amount of clock they chewed up here in the first period through their second offensive drive. Even with their first, the amount of time they took off the clock. Ashburn with the lob over to Sutton on the left side. Just left in the middle, and that'll move the chains for a 1st down.
Just a toss play there to Wyatt Sutton, kind of their signature play. They like I said earlier, they like to get him out in open space. Wyatt Sutton very dangerous, as you saw there, makes the first man miss as Lichtenfeld comes back into the game for Wyatt Sutton.
It'll be a 1st and 10 on the 38-yard line. Tennessee Heat based out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee, facing off against the Columbia, South Carolina-based Pack Panthers. Only the second time that these teams have ever faced off. Ashburn under pressure, gets the pass off, but Luke Luchtefeld just outside of his hand.
Yeah, trying to hit him on the choice route. Just kind of overthrew him there. Luchtefeld wide open. That's something I would come back to. You got a lot of green open space there. If you're the Tennessee Heat, you got to exploit it. They're giving up a lot of open grass up in the middle.
That's actually 32 is Isaac Orbkey. They didn't have a number 2 this year. Wondering why we didn't have him on the roster there. And a direct snap to Luchtefeld trying to take it up the middle, and he won't get anything going there.
Now at that, I believe it's 3rd down now. You got to think, you got to take a shot. Wyatt Sutton's going to be split out wide. He's probably going to come out of motion. You got Orbkey out wide too in that well-known stack formation that the Tennessee Heat like to run. Really hard to stop. A lot of teams to seek, try to stop it, and they just can't. So Coach Scott coming up with this big play on 3rd down.
Luchtefeld sent out in motion. Quick toss, Sutton that bounces off of his ankles.
Yeah, just kind of underthrew it there to the sophomore Sutton. He was wide open. And again, another play I would come back to. You have a lot of open space. Pack Panthers really committing to the blitz, trying to get after Ashburn, trying to get him disrupted. Ashburn, not a lot of quarterback reps except for the second half against the South Haven Patriots, along with the entire game. He also got a little bit of garbage time this year throughout the year when the Heat were up big in conference play, and also an 11-man play when Eakin was taken out of the game. But Ashburn, a lot of good experience. You just got to come back from that one.
4th down inside the 40. The Heat will go for it with about 7 yards to gain. They'll get it out on the right side, and it is incomplete, intended for Sutton, bounced off of the ground, and a 4th and out forced by the Pack Panthers secondary.
Yeah, they went right back to the same play, trying to set up Sutton on that screen, motion screen, just unable to connect on that one.
28.9 ticks on the clock left in this first quarter. Pack Panthers will start out an offensive drive with decent field position on their own 36. Pack Panthers finished the season at 12-1 with a 5-0 record in the SIFA. They won their semifinal 44-6 against the Coastal Hurricanes, as that goes up the middle for a gain of a couple of yards, and they won their championship 42-0 against Georgia SIC. Their only loss on the season was to Northside Christian back in October, 14-12, and that was an 11-man game too. A lot of great teams that they had on their schedule, and it's showing with them only holding the Tennessee Heat to a 7-0 score. We'll be back in a few moments for second quarter coverage of this national championship semifinal for the Division I high school 8-man football scene. Second quarter starting here in Vernon, Florida. Let's hand it down to Theodore Fernandez. Theo. You're right about this environment, certainly, Theo, and we got an encroachment. All right, it's actually a false start on there that caused the encroachment, so they move it back for a 2nd and long, and the Heat defense trying to get their fans loud.
As we saw before the first quarter wind down, Eli Fallbush was on that tackle. Eli Fallbush, another guy who's come up big for the Tennessee Heat.
There's left side Barkley weaving through a couple of tackles. He'll get down to about the 41-yard line and will gain back some yardage lost on the false start penalty. Get up for about 3rd and 5.
Big 3rd and 5. If you're the Pack Panthers, you've been able to get the ball going a little bit, but Tennessee Heat's kind of stopped you in your tracks twice. You got to get on the board. Tennessee Heat have really been draining that clock a lot tonight, so you really got to try to get on the board or at least pin the Tennessee Heat deep back into their own territory.
Both respective teams here, conference champions, SIFA for the Pack Panthers, SEEC for the the runner-up for the SEEC. Both played in their conference championship, so similar situation in the earlier semi. You had a runner-up in the ACSE versus the champion of SEEC, and resulted in a good matchup earlier, and that's what we got here. And again, only 5 days rest. And we already mentioned in the earlier game about the playing three games within the span of 7 days, and always excited to play another football game on the player side, as this is a 4th and out forced by the Tennessee Heat defense, and back deep to receive. Wyatt Sutton will pick up the ball and get immediately met by Patrick Bennett for maybe a punt return of 3 or 4 yards. And we'll see if the Heat offense can capitalize on this next offensive drive.
Tennessee Heat defense has really been getting after it all night. Sam Hill leading the charge on that last one on 3rd down. Tennessee Heat really coming up big defensively, like I just said. Offense has got to get it going. You had that big Luchtefeld score early on the first drive. You really want to be able to feel comfortable going into halftime. You really got to get 1 or 2 more scores because you don't really want to let up and you want to keep your foot on the gas.
Clock stopped at 10:25 for this first offensive drive. I believe if I'm not mistaken, first offensive drive in the second quarter for the Tennessee Heat.
You are correct. Going with that stack formation, look for him to go in motion.
Quick sling, left side, Russell. Graham Russell immediately brought down, this time by Evan Watt.
Yeah, going back to that screen play, the screens really haven't been there for Tennessee Heat, trying to go up there and go for the all-conference receiver, Graham Russell, just trying to dump it out there, try to get something going. Great play there by, I believe it was Russell, to make that, not Russell, that was number 9 for the Pack Panthers, Evan Watt, who was able to make that stop.
second down after a gain of a yard. Almost had an encroachment there from the defensive line. And this will be kept up the middle, potentially breaking away as Luke Luchtefeld pushing it up for a first down and a little bit more. A couple of yards after contact there for Luchtefeld.
Yeah, able to bounce off a few tacklers, get that first down, get those chains going. If you're Tennessee Heat, you got to keep going fast. Don't let your foot off the gas.
They'll start this next set of downs at the 45-yard line. And not to sound like a broken record, but we've been talking about how Coach Scott said they wanted to start fast and start the tempo. That's all this offense has really been doing, aside from maybe the Chip Kelly method a couple of years ago where they just kept doing hurry-up offense to start their first offensive drive of the game. But they're controlling the tempo thus far. Quick toss, Russell incomplete. Almost an interception with the bounce off. Looked like it could have been for, trying to make sure I get the jersey number right. That is Larry Reinert, it looked like, either 36 or 34, and Sean McNulty, who could have gotten the interception.
Yeah, just bounced off Wogan's hands and almost fell into the hands of Larry Reinert.
First charge timeout for the Tennessee Heat of the half, and it is now a chance for them to wind things down. 8 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the first half, and I tell you, low-scoring affair. Same thing we saw here in the SEAC championship game last week. It's the same thing we saw in other games throughout the season. It's low-scoring affairs. It's very rare that these defenses of the four teams in the Division I championship allow a huge amount of points.
Yeah, both of these defenses bend, but they don't break. Tennessee Heat not giving up a lot of points for on the season. I believe the largest margin they gave up was to the South Haven, 42 points. But both defenses doing a really good job tonight, keeping both offenses in check, except for that Luke Luchtefeld run. Both defenses are bending, but they're not breaking.
I like that analogy. Bend but don't break. It's a good one. Ashburn was alone in the shotgun, but he's now got Luchtefeld, and they'll send Sutton in motion. Ashburn will keep it. He's got a little bit of a gap to squeeze through and gained about 6 yards.
I love that play. That misdirection. You send Luchtefeld in motion, and then you bring Sutton out in motion. You got two of your top rushing guys coming in motion. Defense is automatically looking one way to both Sutton and Luchtefeld, but you got Ashburn coming the other way on that misdirection. Great play call there by Coach Scott.
So it brings us to a 3rd down and 4 on that last gain. At 8 minutes left to go in this first half. Motion yet again. There'll be a rush-heavy game, it seems like, but Luke Luchtefeld gets tripped up by the defensive line. How about the hype from the big man, Evan Patterson?
Evan Patterson and Sean McNulty there to make the stop. Sean McNulty got there first, and Patterson just cleaned it up. Looks like the Heat are going to punt and give Yeomans in the offense and Lamb another chance to try to get on the board before they turn the ball back over to the Heat.
And back at the 45, you sometimes see, if you're over midfield in high school and football, for the most part, you're going to see him go for it. Not really try to pin him deep on punts or anything along those lines. But if you're usually on the other side, sometimes you can have a split decision on it. But a high snap, and almost blocked, and it ends up being a high-up punt. I can hear James saying, "Do it for the brand" in our headsets as this goes all the way down. Says, "What a kick," as it bounces down to the 13-yard line. You can hear him. There he goes. Do it for the brand. And a lot of people looking concerned here from this Pack Panthers fan base, wondering who just screamed that. But
that would be our own James Shannon.
Hey, he deserves it. It was a good punt. It was a good one. And it's also a
it was an excellent punt.
It's not worth the vocal cordage.
Hey, he doesn't have to worry about it too much. He only had to call one game today.
He's got to call a game on Saturday, though.
2 of them, yeah. Yeah, he's got a day to rest.
Breaking the fourth wall, that was an excellent punt.
He's got a day to rest, as you heard James just getting on.
If we all know James Shannon, he's not going to be quiet.
Well, no, because he's got the coaches' interviews tomorrow live around. We don't have a time set for it yet, but there will be a special edition of Extreme Talk where he'll interview the coaches and a player or two from the Division II and Division I championship teams as that pass goes down at the feet of McFarland for incomplete. But tune in here on 8-Man Extreme. You'll get to see exclusive interview, James Shannon talking with the coaches for both the Division II and Division I championships and whichever player they end up bringing. Should be a fun show on either Friday afternoon or Friday evening.
Yeah, Chance Slam rolling out on that one with Sam Hill bearing down on him. Just had to get that one away. And credit to the special teams of the Tennessee Heat, able to pin the Pack Panthers deep into their own territory on almost every single drive. They've really had to earn every single yard that they've gotten. And like I said, the Tennessee Heat defense dominant against the Freedom Cowboys in the first half. Again, right now, dominant as of right now against the Pack Panthers. Let's see if they can come up with something here.
Lamb alone in the shotgun, got the catch completed, 2 tackles avoided. On the run is Kyle McFarland. He's got one man to beat, and he'll be forced out at the 31-yard line by the Tennessee Heat's Camus Schroeder, and a big gain for the Pack Panthers.
McFarland on that out route. Just go ahead and turn that up, young man. Able to outrun the Tennessee Heat defense. Finally pushed out by number 14, Camus Schroeder.
It's Kaya Schroeder.
Kaya Schroeder, my fault. Kaya Schroeder able to get a big play, a little bit of a spark that the Pack Panthers have needed in this first half.
Kaya Schroeder with a big play, and he's been a big target at least. Not that much of a target, only had 3 catches for 64 yards, about 2 rushes for 15, as this is tossed across the middle and bounces off of the helmet of Evan Watt.
Yeah, good pass. He had him wide open, just threw it a little bit high, bouncing off of Watt's helmet. A little bit of the passing game going. We haven't seen a lot of the passing game. Tennessee Heat going to the screen game, and a little bit of quick game for the Pack Panthers. Not really seen a shot downfield for either team tonight.
The Pack Panthers offense trying to break through and find some sort of hope on the scoring side of the ball. They're inside of the 30-yard line.
They're going to spread them out, going in shotgun, empty set.
2nd and 9. Lamb will keep it himself on the scramble. Lamb to the left side is tripped up by his legs. That was by Eli Fabush, who made the tackle after a gain of about 6.
Yeah, Cam Yeomans is about to come in. They're in the third short situation. Yeomans is kind of their go-to guy when it comes to that short yardage. Big, powerful runner, son of Coach Yeomans. As we said earlier, really special time for those two to cherish their last ride together.
5.5 and winding down. Yeomans with several coaches, pretty much about 6 assistant coaches on his staff helping him out as well. And got a full sideline for the respective Pack Panthers. Direct snap, Barkley. Barkley gets stopped. You could see Sam Hill and company with the hype there. That was both Hill and Schroeder on the tackle for
Sam
loss.
Hill's an animal, dude. All conference, Sam Hill's an animal. Coming downhill, making the tackle on big Cam Yeomans, setting up a 4th down. It looks like about 3 or 4, so look for another Yeomans or even a rollout pass. We've seen a little bit of rollout by the quarterback, Chance Lamb, tonight. Look for something, maybe Barkley out in the flat, Yeomans out in the flat. So look for either Yeomans or a rollout here. Looks like they're going man coverage.
Yeomans will be sent in motion. Lamb with the quick toss, and the Yeomans has got his jersey. He doesn't even have his shoulder pads covered up. Just notice as he goes on the right side for a gain of a couple of yards to get the first down.
Yeah, just dump out there to the flat. Give the ball to your playmakers. Cam Yeomans able to break a tackle and get down and set up a new set of downs as this second quarter is winding down. This first half has gone really fast with just a little bit over 4 minutes left to go.
And I'm surprised neither team has used a timeout at this point. Like only 4
They haven't had to.
Yeah, they're not.
They really haven't had to.
I'm just surprised.
Well, the Heat have used one. The Heat have used one.
They haven't updated it on the scoreboard in stadium then. Here's Lamb, toss left side, looking for the pass just outside of the reach of Samuel Cargo. Wait for him. Timeout for the Tennessee Heat with 3:37 left to go here in the second quarter. We talked about this on the earlier semis and the earlier games, but for those who were not necessarily aware, Pete Edwards Field was sold as of, I think, late 2022, early 2023. The city of Panama City Beach, they owned the property and ended up selling it. I'm pretty sure the field is demolished at this point, and they sold the property for something else. Pete Edwards Field, a host to the national championship for so many years and so many iconic memories made there. And so last year, Hank St. Dennis and Mike St. Dennis had to look around for options, and they ended up landing here on Vernon High School on account of you've got the play clock in both of the end zones, which was the same at Pete Edwards Field, but you also have that they were looking at the complexes in Panama City Beach, but they wanted to make sure that the fans had enough bleachers to be able to sit on.
Yeah, and we have more than enough space here. A great venue tonight for this great event with all these 8 teams out here competing, fighting for a championship spot.
Lamb shovels it back as the Yeomans will get brought down by the Heat secondary. Several players in the tackle, including Sutton. Another fact on this, they can use this property during the school day because it is not technically on school property for Vernon High School. They're at separate addresses here within the city of Vernon. It's interesting, you don't always have football fields not on school properties. I mean, you see it a little bit here and there, but a lot of schools who end up having it in separate locations, but it makes it even better for the NHSA. Toss across the middle. It's a touchdown! Touchdown, Kyler Barkley!
Yeah, hits Kyler Barkley in a slant route. Needed that one. Kind of went unusual. We don't see the Pack Panthers do often. They kind of go empty, spread them out. Hit Kyler Barkley in that inside slant route. Able to capitalize. They're down now. They're now down 1 to the Tennessee Heat, looking for this 2-point conversion.
Two-point conversion attempt coming up. Over the last several years, the Pack Panthers have not had a kicker, and trying to go for the lead here, down by 1.
Look for Yeomans here on a power play.
We talking ice hockey with power play?
I mean, maybe that's his nickname, power play.
Maybe it is, yeah.
He brings the power, man.
And a muff snap in the backfield, picking it up is Yeomans. Tries to make something of nothing, but can't do it. Muff snap, and the Tennessee Heat retain the lead by a PAT. 2:50 room. And we will be right back from Vernon High School's field in a few moments. Actually, we'll stay here. 2:50 left to go here in the first half. A 7-6 game, and winner of this competition will face off against the Freedom Cowboys. We're actually looking down, and we see Coach Kyle Collins on the bleachers, soaking in this other semifinal, just like the teams on the field here were doing for the earlier semifinal game, or at least they soaked in the first half and then went to their warm-ups.
That kind of gives you a little bit of the advantage playing in the first semifinal, getting that win, kind of seeing, just kind of feeling both teams right now in the first half, kind of coming up with a game plan. Talked to several coaches today down at breakfast, kind of see what their practice schedule is going to be tomorrow. A lot of guys are just kind of do a walkthrough. A lot of coaches are just kind of do whiteboard stuff to kind of do that drawing up for the kids so they can get a rest. But again, we're in for a good one, guys. 2:50 left in the first half as Pack Panthers are getting ready to kick it off.
And think in mind, the Panthers have all 3 of their timeouts if the Heat do not do anything here. And it's an onside kick immediately clasped by Sam Hill and tried to get on the other side of the blockers. And Hill gets stopped for forward progress at the 50-yard line. They'll stop him at the 49.
Yeah, Sam Hill, good job. Great awareness to pick up that ball and get a little bit, as much as you can get. Sam Hill, the all-conference linebacker, really coming up big on defense and on special teams on that play.
Now, the scoreboard in stadium, I believe, is inaccurate. I think the Heat have taken 2 timeouts at this point. So they've only got 1 timeout to work with, but still plenty of time at this point. But what also impresses me, and we'll get into the specific details after this play, but both teams, a lot of all-conference players on here, a lot of All-Americans that are going as well, but we'll talk about Packs after this as Ashburn in the backfield goes with the toss, and it's tipped, a great tip pass by Kyler Barkley. Count that as a pass defended, but it's a big reason why Barkley and company are SIFA All-Conference players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as All-Conference goes, you got Yeomans, you got Barkley, Carter, and Taylor and Patterson leading the way first team, along with Cargo and McNulty and Bennett and the Bennett brothers as well. Along with second team guys, you got Chance Lamb along with Derek Pryor on there. So a lot of guys out here, and we saw a bunch of those Coastal guys play earlier, like Millage, Shanholzer, and Holcomb. So we saw a lot of those guys earlier. A lot of great athletes out in South Carolina.
Ashburn is picked off. Kyler Barkley headed back. He has 6 interceptions for 60 yards heading into this weekend, and he's got a pick 6. Touchdown, Pack Panthers.
Read it like a book. Kyler Barkley just jumps right in front of that one, is able to take the distance, outrun the Tennessee Heat in pursuit, able to finally get a lead against the Tennessee Heat.
You saw that he defended that pass on the previous play, swatted it down. He read that one again like a book and went straight to the house for 6. There's a big reason why he won the Extreme Offensive Player of the Week in Week 1 of the regular season. And that was in their game against the Freedom Cowboys on the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg. And a 2-point conversion attempt to make this a 7-point game, which is just as important, too, because of the Heat having a kicker.
A very rare 14-7 game. You'll see an 8-man. Most teams go for a 2-point.
Here's Yeoman, slips for a little bit, but easily walks into the end zone for a 14-7 lead. Tennessee Heat get the ball to start the second half, so what comes up on the other side of the break from the Heat offense could be crucial.
Like last game, game of momentum, right? So Heat comes out first, gets the first score with Luchtefeld, then come out again, get that third down stop, and get forced to get off the field. Again, defense bends but doesn't break. Does break on that touchdown drive, and then Barkley comes right back and scores for the Pack defense. So game of momentum, Pack momentum now in Pack's favor, but we got to see what White Sutton the offense are going to do when they step back out on the field.
2:18 remaining in this first half, and right before we head off for the break at halftime, Theodore will get a question or two in with Coach Ryan Scott heading into their halftime locker room, and Coach Yeomans on the other side of the break. But for now, this will be booted away or maybe squibbed or onside by Henry Bennett, the sophomore. And it will be an onside kick that will go the 10 yards and is fallen on by Graham Russell. So they'll start at the 50-yard line.
Good field position. So even if you're not trying to get a score here, I mean, you got to get a score here to tie this game up. You got 2:18 left. You got one timeout left. If you're Coach Ryan Scott, you really got to have a sense of urgency. You got one timeout in your back pocket. You got to go 2-minute drill here to try to tie this game up, or even try to get the lead if you go for 2.
50 yards to drive for the Heat. Only one timeout remaining for Coach Ryan Scott to work with.
Going to that stack formation on the top of your screen.
Ashburn, he's got Luchtefeld to his right in motion. They'll give it off to Luchtefeld. He's got some space in the middle. Luchtefeld trying to carve through this defense, and he does, to get a gain all the way to the 29. They'll spot him at the 30-yard line in Pack Panthers territory.
Run game's really been working. We got 88 coming on the field for the Tennessee Heat. You got Maddox Mahaffey, who has really been kind of one of those role players there for Tennessee Heat. He's coming on the field. Look for him to get the ball. Mahaffey.
2 minutes and winding. No sense of urgency from the Heat, which, again, they like to play fast, but with it coming down to the end of the half, they just control the clock. On the motion, they give the ball off to Mahaffey, and he gets up to about the 14.
Mahaffey, one of the fastest players on this team, able to get that jet sweep, pick up. He was probably one missed tackle away from taking it to the house. So look for Mahaffey, probably get the ball again. But again, you got clock running. You got about 92 seconds left in the half. Still got that one timeout in your back pocket. So you're really not rushing, but again, you got to be aware of the clock.
And in order to keep in mind, Roush is a kicker, so they could go up by 10 points here if they trust him from this distance. I didn't see him really I don't know if I'd see him trusting on this circumstance. And Ashburn tossed to the end zone, incomplete, intended for Graham Russell. And I beg your pardon, it would actually be a 14-10 game. Swap sides of the scoreboard there. Would, if it were Pack Panthers kicking a field goal, that'd be a 10-point lead. But 63 seconds to work with on the incompletion intended for Russell.
Yeah, rolling out, trying to throw back to his left to Graham Russell. Just kind of overshot him there on the crossing route. Look back. I would probably look back Graham Russell's way. He's got a good matchup against number 36, Larry Reinhard. That's a matchup I really like down here at the bottom of the screen. They've been battling all game. Ricky Scott's another guy to look for. Ricky Scott's kind of got the speed. Graham Russell's got the ups. So which one are you going to go for?
And in motion to the left side, it's going to be a keeper. That's Ashburn, and he gets swallowed up by the defense of the Panthers.
Just trying to set up that field goal, looks like, with that clock running down. They are going to take that timeout.
Or maybe they were trying to catch him off guard or something. Maybe they were trying to catch him off guard or something on that. You normally expect a pass play like that.
I imagine, but you got fourth down. You got fourth down with 51 seconds left. Even if you don't get this, you do give Pack a chance to score with 51 seconds. And Pack has all their time. I believe they got 1 or 2 timeouts left. They have all 3 timeouts left, so that really does work in Pack's favor.
You trust Roush here on this amount of distance? I think if my math is correct, that's about a 32-yard field goal attempt.
Either way, if you do go for it for a pass or if you try to kick a field goal, you're still going to set them up, the Pack Panthers, right where they left off. They're going to go for it. So I would probably either run it, try to set Pack up deeper in there. But either way, if they don't get it, the clock's going to stop. And that works in Pack's favor. Yeah,
I don't see Roush out there. So they will go for it, about like 5 yards.
They got Wyatt Sutton lined up outright with Albrecht. Look for Wyatt Sutton to get the ball maybe on the screen here. They like him when he's wide out.
And send Luchtefeld in motion. Ashburn, quick toss. Not going to get there. Not going to get even close. Sutton gets stopped and a turnover on downs for the Panthers.
Going for the screen. They just read it like a book. Number 28, Pack Panthers. Samuel Cargo coming up to make the stop, the all-conference. Samuel Cargo, the all-conference senior, coming up to make the big stop for the Pack Panthers. Again, 44 seconds left. They got 3 timeouts, and the clock stopped for them. So chance to go up big, to go up by 2 scores.
And again, the Tennessee Heat get the ball to start out the second half. So they'll at least be able to go on the offensive side in the third quarter. But you think you would want like a defensive stop here. Don't mean to jinx it, but it'd be nice with a fumble recovery or interception or something like that. But down by 7. About 45 seconds to work with. Scramble in the backfield for Lamb, gets the pass off. It's incomplete, intended for Yeomans.
Yeah, with that, the clock stops with 38 seconds left. Not really bad, not a bad play. You still got 2nd and 10. You're still deep in your own territory, so you really got probably about 3 more plays if you want to try to get the first down. I imagine you're probably going to go for it on 4th down. Maybe go for another pass here. Maybe run it on 3rd down. Set up a good pass play on 4th down. Take that timeout, let the clock stop, and try to cut them up with something of your Coach Yeomans.
Yeah, that benefits the Tennessee Heat with it at least stopping there if they have any sort of chance for this to get back. But likely, if Pack doesn't like what it is on the 3rd down, they'll probably just do a run to run out the clock and go to the halftime locker room. And toss right side, Yeomans. Oh, that was a big collision, and he still got yards after contact down to the 30.
They're going to take that timeout.
That's funny. He stopped it there. 20. I think Coach Yeomans is upset because he thought the clock should have been stopped earlier with the stoppage. He felt maybe he should have gotten a couple seconds there. But Nate Starr and him laughing and such. But that's a fun moment. 28.1 remaining in this first half. The Panthers burn their first time out of the half, and you've got a
big personality and a referee. It
Oh,
makes
yeah.
the game so much more fun, man.
You see that that Germany game for the NFL where Sean
Yeah.
Oculey called the penalty in German?
Yeah.
That was pretty special. .1 in the second quarter. 14-7 lead. They'll snap it off, and Lamb has plenty of time. He's finally got pressure, and he'll keep it himself. He's going to get the first down, and now about a little bit more cuts. We're down to about the 47-yard line is where they'll spot him, and they do stop it for the first down. You wonder if Coach Yeomans is going to burn his second time out.
He just did.
Yeah, I think he's going to leave it there at 6. James saying, I wonder if he called this one 7 times. Oh, that's funny. But they burned their second time out to 16.5. They do get down to the 47-yard line. And, again, we'll hear from Coach Scott with Theodore at the immediate conclusion of this quarter and head into the halftime break. Again, Tennessee Heat gets the ball to start out the second half.
Yeah, if you're Tennessee Heat, you need to stop here to potentially maybe come out and score in the second half. But, hey, if you're the Panthers, you're almost in Heat territory. You got a chance here. You'll probably take 2 or 3 shots to the end zone. You got 1 timeout left. Take 1 more deep shot, and then you might have a chance.
That's what they're doing, trying to get this deep shot to the left side. The catch is made by Evan Watt, the sophomore. He loses the football at the 30. He loses it, and then waiting for the ruling. I think he stepped out of bounds is what they're ruling here. We could get a challenge from Ryan Scott here, and it's a first down for the Pack Panthers. And it doesn't look like Ryan Scott might talk. I think he's just talking with his defenders. I mean, they're also on that near side of the sideline, so they know whether or not they saw that or not. So maybe he stepped out of bounds before he lost control of the ball.
Looked like it. And you still have another chance. You still have that timeout in your back pocket. Maybe throw a quick route right here. Get that timeout. Draw up a really good play. One of your best deep shot plays to try to get back on the board to get a 2-score lead.
7.5, possibly the last play of the second quarter. Looking for the deep shot on the right side. They've got the catch and go out of bounds with 0.7 left on the game clock at the 15-yard line. What a drive at the end of the first half by this Pack Panthers offense.
Yeah, Chance Slam really putting it together for the Pack Panthers. Looks like they might take that timeout to get that final play drawn up for him. Looks like Yeoman's going to come back into the game for the Pack.
We're waiting on the signal. I think they did. Z 0.7 left in this first half. What do you draw up here? I know you're more on the defensive side of things. On defense, what are you anticipating on this short of field?
You're expecting a corner out to the end zone. You want to try to get to the back pylon. So if I'm the Heat, I want to play man coverage. You never really play zone inside the 20-yard line. So get your corners up in their face, play press man, or play a little bit of off man. But you don't want to give a lot of space for a potential missed tackle to get in the end zone. So cut up, get in their face. DBs have really played good all year. So looks like they're going to play a little bit of off-man coverage with that inside leverage. So you really got 4 receivers. You got 2 spread out wide on each side of Lamb.
Final seconds expire. Toss right side. Incomplete. Across the right side of the end zone to Kyler Barkley. Could have had a go-ahead touchdown at the end of the first half. And that's how it'll be 14-7 in favor of the Pack Panthers, at least for now. Theodore should be on standby in a few seconds with Coach Scott. He's talking with his players right now, so Theo waiting on the outside. We've got about 20 minutes before the halftime break. It's been a good first half thus far, and Coach Scott walking up with Theodore Fernandez right now. We'll send it down to Theo.
than each other. We're a team that's playing for Christ, so we're trying to find something bigger than ourselves, and that's what we're asking them to do, and find that tonight. Good luck. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Theo, absolutely right. And hearing that from Coach Scott, it was a good stop at the end. They'll try to continue that into the second half. 14-7, the Pack Panthers lead in this national championship semifinal for high school 8-man football Division I. We'll be back in about 18 and a half or less from Vernon, Florida. We welcome you back to Vernon, Florida. Halftime, 14-7 lead for the Pack Panthers over the Tennessee Heat in this semifinal for high school 8-man football Division I. Theodore Fernandez is on the field with Coach Yeomans. Theo.
Mind space after that.
You know what? We did get stopped, but we drove the length of the field. So I'll take a victory in that. Next time we'll put points up on the board. Ball goes through Kyler's hands. You know, Kyler makes that catch 9 times out of 10. He's a great athlete. Had a one-handed pick 6. I can't complain about it. I love him to death. Next time he better catch the ball.
24 minutes away from possibly being back in the championship. What's the team feeling right now?
Confident right now. That was a horrible first quarter of football. We discussed that. But it was a pretty good second quarter, so we just need to build on that and have a great second half.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Theodore Fernandez, our sideline reporter of this game. Spencer Thompson, Eli Cornett. We got James Shannon on the computer producer side, our camera director, Will Morrow, and all the hardworking men and women who are making this run so smoothly. But fantastic. I would say I disagree. I think this was a great showing in the first half. I mean, first quarter, a little bit of a struggle on the Pack Panthers side, but it's still, only holding the Heat to 7 points. Doing the same thing the Freedom Cowboys did last week.
Yeah, holding them only to score on that first drive. Pack really put it together on the defensive side of the football. Heat drove the length of the field, got stopped twice on the other side of the 50 with that Kyler Barkley interception and that 4th and out. But Pack Panthers drove the length of the field like Coach Yeomans just said. So this team's feeling really confident going into the second half. And like he said, we expect them to come out and run the ball. They really have come out and pass the ball on offense for the Pack Panthers. They even said, I was talking to one of the assistants at halftime, and they said they were listening to the broadcast and talking about how we were talking about how they're a powerful run game. They're like, we're just going to pass the ball, and it's been working for them. Chance Lansman been able to roll out, connect with Yeomans and Barkley out in the flat. So I would probably expect for them to go back to that.
We also talked about how Maddox Mahaffey has showed up for the Tennessee on the offensive side. I mean, you see that Sutton, Schroeder, and Ashburn are really trying to put their stamp on the semifinal and put the Heat in a chance to win.
Yeah, they're trying to put them in a chance to the win. They've kind of gone away from the run game a little bit, trying to get to the screen game. Hasn't really worked out for them there. But I would, if I was Coach Scott, I would probably run the ball a little bit. Graham Russell's been your guy all year, all conference receiver. So I'll try to get the ball downfield for him. Ricky Scott's another guy that we haven't really called his name a lot tonight. Ricky Scott's a really good downfield threat. We'll go up and get the ball. He's really got the speed. Mahaffey, like you just said, Spencer, on those jet sweeps, got really lethal speed. So if I'm the Heat, I want to use all of my weapons in the second half. You are about a half away from potentially getting a rematch with the Freedom Cowboys, so I want to lay it all on the line right here.
And for those who don't know, whenever we go down and visit on the field, we make sure to talk with the coaches. We don't really disturb players as they're getting in their mindset. Rocky Scott went out of his way to shake our hands, which shows the kind of character that he has, even when he's preparing for a game and how much he respects what we do. Several of the players, kind of tease us at times. Or they say certain things, or like even when James is sometimes on the field, they're like, "Why'd you pick against us?" or "Why'd you pick for us?" or something like that. And,
I'm sorry, but James puts up. But James puts
for the brand.
James puts himself in those situations sometimes.
Well, oh yeah. No.
So
his saying is that whether you're thinking about me in a positive or negative light, he's living rent free in people's heads. So
in a lot of people's heads.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people's heads.
The Pat McAfee of high school 8-man football. Second half.
I would say Lou Holtz.
Second half, first drive here for the Tennessee Heat. You think they have to score here? As you're laughing at something James said, but.
I called him Lou Holtz, and he didn't really like that at all.
You think he'd have to score on this opening drive?
They have to. The way that the Pack Panthers were able to drive.
James saying no, they don't.
It's a pretty pivotal drive for the Tennessee Heat. Not being able to get a lot of things on offense. Pack Panthers have been able to drive the length of the field.
We are trying to focus, and obviously James Shannon, our producer, he's having a lot of fun. We're having fun here. It's been a long day. Been on site since 9 a.m., basically 12 hours.
We're all
here
running on adrenaline right now.
Yep, all adrenaline as Kanan Carter takes the return. There's a flag down. Kanan Carter is tackled down at the 48-yard line, but let's check the flag. Likely on a return, it's a holding, right?
Either that or a block in the back.
Again, Nate Starr, our referee. This crew has worked the national championships for high school 8-man football since pretty much for decades at this point. And we always get to meet with him beforehand to give him the lapel mic and such. I asked him, good season for you so far? He says, I'll know tomorrow, or I'll know on Saturday. He's like, I'll know on Saturday. And they're also working the 11-man tournament next week as well, so that will, I'm sure they also officiate other sports, but on the football side, get to be a part of this Friday Night Lights environment. And in motion, you got a lob to the left side for Wyatt Sutton on his first offensive play for the Heat in the second half, and it's a carry for about 4 yards.
Trying to get Wyatt Sutton out in space on that toss play. They've gone to it a couple times. Has worked on the first try. Second other couple times hasn't really worked in their favor. Trying to get Wyatt Sutton out in space. They're trying to do anything to get him the ball right now.
This Pack Panthers defense has been a monolith to get through this first half, and a big reason why only 7 points are on from that lucky run from Ashburn in the first half. Just carry up the middle, and there goes Luchtefeld, and he gets stuffed at the line.
Yeah, big number 92, Derek Pryor, was there to stuff that one up as Luchtefeld met Derek Pryor. Hello, Derek Pryor. Met him right in the middle of that D-line. So setting up a third, looks like about a 3rd and 4. So probably going to go back to the screen game here.
Brings us about a 3rd down and 4, and this goes on the pitch, going on the middle of the line, diving through, trying to get the first down. He will try to find the number on the player.
It was Mahaffey.
It was Mahaffey who moved the chains.
Yeah, jet sweep Mahaffey. That's kind of been his go-to play for Mahaffey. 3 jet sweeps, 3 carries. He's really stepping up in a big way as Luchtefeld comes back into the game for the Heat.
Yeah, they just needed Mahaffey for a couple of yards there. And, again, it's interesting when you have these players who only have a handful of carries for not that many yards, who start getting into the offensive schemes. And it's a big testament. Ryan Scott has talked about it over the years, and that it's always trying to rotate everybody and trying to get their runners up, but got a false start.
Yeah.
They call that one on Tully, freshman, on the outside.
Yeah, and every single team has that one guy that you don't really look for when you're scouting them. Mahaffey being for the Heat. Kyler Barkley's the guy you really don't scout for. You really scout for Yeomans, McNulty, and Lamb. And Seek, you got guys like Josiah Dixon for Tri-Cities Christian. We're going to go deep.
Air out on the left side for the pass. In coverage, it's loose and incomplete. Almost an interception by Larry Reinhardt, almost had the interception, and it brings up a 2nd and long.
That's kind of one of the first times we see him to go for a deep shot on first down, really trying to go for the jugular there, going in Graham Russell's way, the all-conference receiver. Good throw, just better pass breakup by the defense.
2nd and long. We are on the home sideline with the press box. You could hear these Pack Panthers fans.
They're loud.
It's interesting. Not as many fans in the stadium. The Freedom Cowboys filled it out in their semi, but it sounds like a full stadium here in Vernon.
Oak River was pretty close.
River Oaks was right side. Pretty close. Wyatt Sutton will get it to about the 30-yard line, and he's going to be forced to about a 3rd and 11.
The closest thing to both of these fan bases was River Oaks. Earlier today, those fans were rowdy, and they led their team to victory, man.
And it brings us up to a 3rd and 11. And a special thank you to all 121 and counting who are joining us here.
You got Graham Russell on the bottom of your screen matched up on Barkley. They really like that matchup.
Toss across the middle. What a catch. It was an interception. Looked like a catch in coverage. Evan Watt, the sophomore, has got the pick on the Heat's first drive of the second half.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's Evan Watt's first. And if I'm not mistaken, Spence, that is Evan Watt's first pick on the year. Had 27 tackles, 15 solo, and 12 assists on the year. Coming up in a big way for the Pack Panthers defense.
And remember, both coaches do have the opportunity to challenge if they want to. Didn't look like it was close there on that interception anyways. We could see it from up here too, but you always have that option heading into the latter parts of this half. Direct snap, it's Lamb. He'll get swallowed up by the defensive line for a loss of 1.
Yeah, going with a power formation to the right. You got 2 wings right there. That's where they're going to go. Basically, where the 2 wings line up, that's going to dictate where the ball is going. Lamb is able to get a couple yards. Actually looks like he lost about a half an inch.
I will say it is impressive to me with how high scoring these offenses are in the year. The only touchdowns we have 1 rushing touchdown, and we had one defensive pick 6, and 1, if I'm not mistaken, is passing touchdown and rush down there. So only 1 offensive touchdown on both sides and 1 defensive score.
Yeah, it's been really a big tale of the defenses, and these offenses really have had to drive down the field. It's Chance Lamb!
Chance Lamb again weaves through the defense, and on cue, Lance has got it to a 20-7 lead for the Panthers.
Just a power play, back to that power formation. Chance Lamb took it right up the gut, outran the entire Tennessee Heat defense for a score going up 20-7.
13-point lead now as the Panthers are trying to take a stronghold, commanding lead over the Tennessee Heat, trying to go up by 15 in this semifinal and punch their ticket back to the national championship. Lamb in the shotgun. He has the keeper going up the middle and a 2-point conversion. The Pack Panthers have got a stronger lead now at 15 points with 7:57 left in the third quarter. Under 8 minutes left to go here in this second half, and Tennessee Heat at this point, again, only 1 rushing touchdown on the year. Their defense has tried to, for the most part, through the first quarter and towards the second quarter, they tried to stand tall as much as they could. And the Pack Panthers now on the great side of luck at this point.
Yeah, and as Coach Scott gathers this whole team, you've been in this place so many times. You gotta, like Coach told us last week, you gotta own the moment. So with this being down 2 scores, you're still got plenty of time to try to make a comeback. Started out hot, kind of a little bit stagnant right now as Pack has complete control of this game at the moment, but we're 1 big play away from Tennessee Heat being right back in it.
Bennett will send the kick away in a few seconds, and this one will be sent high up and back to about the 35-yard line. An attempted return. That's Mahaffey, who will take it just shy of the 50-yard line for a return of about 10 and change.
Yeah, and that's a good return by Mahaffey, getting it close to the 50, setting up the Tennessee Heat offense in a good position. Last drive, they were kind of deep in their own territory, so great job by Mahaffey, able to set his offense up in decent field position.
From the 49-yard line, Tennessee Heat try to recover from that interception and encroachment. They'll get another 5 yards. Move it up into Panthers territory at the 46. 1st and 5. Ashburn under pressure, dumps it off to Sutton. He's got space on the right side for the first down and a little bit more. Sutton gets past the tackle.
We got
One
a
man to
flag.
beat. There is a flag down for the touchdown at the moment, but we got a flag down. This is likely going to be brought back. Here's Nate Starr in a moment. We mentioned it a couple times of how when you have big breakaway plays like that, you see a flag, it's likely on the offensive team and heading back the other way, and that's the case with the Heat holding.
Yeah, most commonly in big plays like that, you're either going to get a holding call or a block in the back. Looked like it was on Ricky Scott that time. So Rocky Scott. So let's see if they can try to get another big play here on first down and long.
Ashburn will hand it off to Sutton up the middle. He'll get to the 40-yard line for a gain of maybe 2 or 3 yards. And with the holding call, it was a 1st and 11. And actually, it was just short of the first. It was 1st and 2 because they moved it back with it. So now another set of downs, only 2 yards to gain. They'll start on the 40-yard line with this new set of downs. One of the things Coach Scott talked to us about as well in last week's C championship game, when that fumble recovery in the end zone happened for the Freedom Cowboys, felt like his team was sort of deflated and that they felt they couldn't go back in the game and do this. And you're not seeing that yet. You're seeing this fight from them as a tackle avoided by Luke Luchtefeld, who's still on his feet. Luke Luchtefeld weaving through the defense and gets inside the 25.
Able to make McNulty miss. McNulty was able to get back there, but he was able to make him miss with several other broken tackles, setting up another Heat first down. Great run by Luchtefeld.
But to finish what my point about Coach Scott was saying that his team almost felt defeated, like they couldn't make it back, and he preached that this week to the players, especially heading into Florida, to finish. And not just from the own it mantra they've had, but to try and finish out games that they play in. Motion. And Ashburn will look for the pass on the right side. He had a good pass there, but Wyatt Sutton, looks like there was miscommunication on the route.
Yeah, it looked like he was expecting him to go a little bit deep. Might have had a little option route there, or choice route rather. And instead of pushing it deep, he pushed it a little bit short and a little bit of miscommunication right there. Now, this has been a kind of the critical field position for Tennessee Heat. They've been down in this area several times and not been able to capitalize. Their one big run came outside of the 30-yard line. Now they're within the 30. And I believe they're 0-2 inside the 30 right now. So they gotta find something here. Mahaffey in motion, probably gonna get the ball.
Ashburn will keep it himself up the middle to gain it inside of the red zone. We got a flag on the far side at about the 20-yard line. And it looks like illegal contact maybe. So they move it up 5 yards on there again. Still in high school. In the NFL and college, they solely have a face mask. They don't have any incidental separation or not. So incidental on there for 5 yards. Now the Tennessee Heat getting a break. They said repeat. Thought I heard Nate Starr. Thought I heard him say repeat for second down. I guess they moved the chains down for a 2nd and 10. This is lobbed out. Flag in the backfield, cutting outside. Wyatt Sutton will get in the end zone for a touchdown, but likely this is going to come back on the hold. Now you can see the conversation Nate Starr is having there. I think that's Graham Russell. Or that's Ashburn he's having a conversation with. And this will likely be coming back. Yeah, they do stop the clock now. Clock got reset. It was running when it shouldn't have been. It's now at 5:37, and there's a low block called on the Heat, or chop block, I should say. So they do move it back. The Heat got a benefit on an incidental face mask, and that's the second time a touchdown has been called back on penalties for the Heat.
Both by Wyatt Sutton.
The officials are having a discussion here. We got a clarification from Nate Starr. 4:52 on the game clock is what they're clarifying. So they were just adjusting it on the clock there, so 4 minutes, 52 seconds. And now the clock winds. Ashburn in the backfield with Sutton to his left. Motion play they've run throughout the season. They'll lob it over to Sutton. He's trying to get past the defender, gets swallowed up. Tried to get past Henry Bennett, but was swallowed up by other two Pack Panthers.
Going back to that toss play, great play by Henry Bennett, reading that toss play and meeting Wyatt Sutton in the backfield for that big stop on first down.
Just over 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 15-point lead for the Pack Panthers as this defense tries to prevent the Heat from getting down the field. Second down and a quarter of the field. A quarter of the field plus. Ashburn will keep it up the middle, tries to get through the defense. He does to about the 25-yard line as they try to chunk away at this deficit. And now you're at the 25-yard line, a quarter of the field to get to the end zone, about 23 yards to get to the first down marker.
Maybe throw a screen, get a little bit of field position, and then take a shot deep.
And unfortunately, we have a Pack Panther who is down on the field right now. The medical staff will look to him, and we will step aside. Sean McNulty, the player down for the Pack Panthers, and you were also mentioning you had conversations with the team. He felt like he was at 75%, and in that championship game played really hard, and you hope the best for the senior.
Yeah, he apparently got beat up a lot in that championship game last week, about at 75%. So they're hoping that he'll be feeling a little bit better by Saturday.
Ashburn again. He's got Mahaffey across the middle. Mahaffey trying to go to the end zone. He's inside the 5-yard line, but another flag at the line of scrimmage. Did I hear him correctly? He said the player moved in motion towards the line of scrimmage before the ball
Yeah,
was
you
snapped?
have you have to stay off the ball because if the tight end is lined up on that side, it's really pivotal that you have 4 men in the backfield. So he probably ran toward the line of scrimmage and had less than 3 men in the backfield.
James saying you can't be moving forward at the snap.
It's basically the same as a false start.
Yeah, a good call by the officials on that.
All right, we got a 3rd and long.
Luchtefeld and Ashburn in the backfield. Ashburn, no motion this time on the play. Ashburn is going to air it out down the left side, looking for his man. Diving catch. Incredible reception on the left side by Eli Fawbush.
Question is, I believe that was Graham Russell. Question is, did he get the first down, or are they going to mark it short?
Those 30s, the 3s and 8s look
It's going to be
similar.
4th down. It's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, 1 yard short of the line to gain. Yeah, those 3s and 8s when they're squished look about similar. So not Fawbush, that was Graham Russell. And 4th and 1, Heed'll go for it on the 4-yard line. You just run it with Sutton.
Go with Ashburn, man.
Or Ashburn, yeah. And motion, they're going to keep it with Ashburn. And did he get there? He went over the defender. You see that tackle attempted there by Sean McNulty. He did not have his knee down, at least from what it looked like here. I think with that tackling method, that's a first down. Is that I'm waiting if that's a signal. Do we have anything yet? Are they going to measure?
They may review it.
Yep, they're going to measure it. That was a close one. Now, can we get an angle? I think our sideline cam is having issues right now at the inopportune time. But let's see, I guess could we get a close-up of the measurement as best as we can? What's the signal we got? Is it at least looking from here? Is that a turnover? It is. Short. They stopped him inside of their 5-yard line.
Pack coming up big on that defensive stop, stopping Ashburn from getting a first down. Big stop for the Pack Panthers.
Now we got Coach Scott who's looking over at the measurement. He's talking to Nate Starr. Is that the challenge they're going to use? So we're going to go to break. They're going to look at it. The Heat use their one challenge for short of the line to gain. The call on the field is confirmed. First down for the Pack Panthers. A turnover on downs with the camera angles changing, and I guess not enough conclusive evidence from the angles that they used. Yeah, at least with James telling us he went down with a tablet, there was not enough conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the field.
All right, if you're Pack, you're in dangerous territory. You got to get out of here quick.
First and 10 here from the Pack Panthers. They get a gap for the run and get a little bit of breathing room just outside the 10-yard line at the 9. And James was telling us that by the time the player was rolling over, it looked like the ball was at the backside before it was ruled down. But basically looking at the angles, unless there's conclusive, clear evidence. Or in the ball behind the player, but looks like, and that's not good. Chance Lamb is down. That is not good for him to be on the field right now, and you hope the best for the senior. We will step aside for an injury timeout. Direct snap to Kyler Barkley was high and maybe got a yard gain or two on the play for a 3rd down and 7. Minute 15 left to go here in the 3rd.
Going with that power formation, look to the run to the right.
This is going to the left side, and good defensive stand here by the Tennessee Heat to force a 4th and out inside of their own 10.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to punt it away, potentially setting the Tennessee Heat up for a good field position. But Whiteside's going back deep. That man is dangerous.
35 seconds and winding down, still a 15-point lead in favor of the Pack Panthers on 4th down. It looks like they're going to go for it on like 4th and 6. I beg your pardon. I didn't see the punter in the back of the end zone. And this is going to be an attempt to return by Wyatt Sutton. Cuts to the left side. He's got some space at the 40 and the 35, trying to get past Lamb, which you like to see Chance Lamb back in after he was slow to get up. And with 13.6, the Tennessee Heat have it inside the 30.
Again, they're within the 30. They're 0-3 inside the 30. They got to capitalize here if they want to stay in this game.
13.6 remaining in the 3rd quarter. As you're absolutely right, Tennessee Heat have to capitalize here. Now, of course, they're going to flip sides of the field.
Wyatt Sutton going out wide, probably going to be another screen.
Sutton out wide. You got Ashburn in the same position again with Luchtefeld to his right.
Put it in motion.
Same motion we've seen most of the game. They'll double reverse it to the right side, and trying to go around is Russell, and he'll get tripped up for a tackle for loss. Standing tall is Kyler Barkley, and that will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Let's head down to Theodore Fernandez. Theo?
Now, there's confidence heading into the start of the 2nd half. That confidence has only grown throughout the 3rd quarter. You saw looks of pure joy on the team's face as they made that goal line stand. I even heard a Pack parent talk about how they needed to buy air horns for the championship on Sunday. Look, maybe Tennessee ball, only a 2-score game entering the 4th quarter, but these Panthers are playing with some real swagger right now.
12 minutes left to determine who is going to collide with the Freedom Cowboys on Saturday night for the Division I National Championship for high school 8-man football. Coming down to the wire here in a 15-point differential right now with 12 minutes left to go. We should have a good game down the stretch, but it depends on what the Heat do on this drive.
If they score, we're probably going to be in for a good finish. If they don't score, if they don't score, they've had a really lot of trouble on offense. So really trying to get a score here.
Start of the fourth quarter, 2nd down and 5. The Heat burned one of their timeouts by not winning the challenge. Ashburn on the scramble. He'll fake it on the toss and go for again in the end zone, looking for the option. Tossed and incomplete. Graham Russell, the intended target. Clean coverage by the Pack secondary.
Yeah, it looked like number 28 or 26 rather. It was number 28, Samuel Cargo there on the pass breakup. Great play by the two Pack defenders over there, finding Graham Russell in the middle of the field and breaking up that pass. Mahaffey back in the game, look for another jet sweep or even a fake right back to Ashburn.
3rd and 4. Ashburn putting motion again to Mahaffey, and they'll hand it off to Mahaffey going up the middle. He's not going to get there. Several yards short at the 21.
All right, you're in a 3rd and short situation. If you want to go for it, maybe run the ball, get a chunk of yardage, but the Pack Panthers have been able to stop them in the run game. So maybe a little bit of a screen out here. You got Albrecht and Ricky Scott out there. You also got Graham Russell out wide against Kyler Barkley. That's the matchup you want to look at.
They got in motion Orbkey. Ashburn looking on the left side, overthrew his target of Rocky Scott. We mentioned he's been quiet throughout the game, but he has been targeted a couple of times. Overthrow by Ashburn.
Yeah, just trying to roll out. It looked like he's kind of that one sailed off his back foot. We might be going for a field goal attempt here.
Which, with it being a 12-point game, seems to make sense and help there. James is happy about this one. 11:09 left to go here in the fourth quarter. You know what? Let's keep the tradition here. Mr. Shannon, if this is an actual field goal attempt, would you like to call it?
Absolutely, sir. Please hold.
Wait for the attempt coming up here.
Oh, no, Pack was on offense. Pack is on offense.
Wait, was that?
That was 4th down. Pack was on offense.
That was 4th down. Okay, we made a mistake there. Sorry, James.
You jinxed it.
Yeah, I did. It was a turnover on downs. I thought it was 3rd down on there and 4th down. So now Pack is back on offense. And Tennessee Heat could not capitalize on that drive.
0-4 now.
0-4 inside of the 30. Right side toss, and there's the catch by Barkley. Spins out of the tackle, slips on the grass, and gets down to the 34 for a 1st down.
Looks like we might have a timeout coming here for the Heat.
Yeah, it's just chains for the clock on there. And you wonder at what point does Ryan Scott use his timeouts? It's a little early for that, certainly, but you wonder at what point down the stretch.
You're down 2 scores. Your offense has been stagnant inside of the 30. So you got to think about coming up with those timeouts. Barkley's kind of been the go-to guy in the passing game. Yeoman's has kind of had a quiet night on the offensive side of the football as far as receptions go. He had that one flat route.
Lamb, left side, flags down, incomplete pass. And you got Nate Starr. We'll hear from him in a second. So double penalties on there. And move it back 10 yards for another 1st down. But the way these teams have been playing, unless there's a breakthrough by either side, this score might hold as the final.
It might hold as the final, which means that Kyler Barkley pick 6 is very pivotal right now, because otherwise that's kind of set the tempo for the Heat offense. After that pick 6, they haven't really scored much.
Lamb with a dump off to Yeomans with the collision inside or just outside the 30-yard line. And not enough for the first down, but gains back to the original line where they started at for a 2nd and 13. Yeah, the Heat have not scored since that pick six. That was, or sorry, I beg your pardon. That was a Pack Panthers who hadn't scored since that pick six. So it's been pretty much scoreless here. 2nd down and 13.
Got 2 receivers out wide. Yeomans is motioning out.
Lamb under pressure. He'll run it himself, and he's got space to run. Lamb will be brought down outside the 50, and a big first down for the Pack Panthers.
He looked to his right. Nothing was there. Decided as soon as he saw the sea parted, he went ahead and picked up that big first down for the Pack Panthers as that clock is still rolling with 9:25 left.
That was pretty much the story of the first half for both of these offenses, controlling the ball for long drives down the field to chunk away a ton of time on the clock, and certainly the goal right now for the Pack Panthers up by 15. Certainly a score to cap onto it would give them even more cushion than they already have. Lamb under pressure, gets out of it, right side incomplete. Pass intended for McFarland.
They're really liking that empty set right now. They feel like their passing game has really improved throughout the game, which it has. They found a key receiver in Barkley who they were trying to go to on that one.
49-yard line in their own territory are the Pack Panthers on a 2nd and 10. There's moments like this where this is where games can be decided or not. Looking for some sort of big play from either side. Either the defense gets a turnover or the offense gets a breakaway. You haven't really seen that for a while here in this game. Maybe it's here. Lamb across the top, incomplete. And they will not call pass interference. The Pack Panther staff wanted it. Looked like it was just good coverage by Kanan Carter.
Yeah, it looked like he just kind of got tripped up there with the defender's legs, unable to make the catch. Good pass by Chance Lamb, just unable to connect on that one.
Brings up a 3rd and 10 as Kyler Barkley, the intended receiver. We've got, looks like the clock running again. Well, that's some time back onto the clock. It just hadn't been stopped a couple of times there. They'll reset the play clock back to 8:53.
Going split out wide to the bottom of your screen.
Motion on the 3rd down. The ball is mishandled in the backfield. Yeomans, he loses the football. There's a flag in the backfield, and it does go out of bounds at the 39, but we do have a flag down.
I think that was just a fumble marker.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It looks from here like it was a yellow flag, but, yeah, fumble marker. It's the bean bags that the officials use, but back at the 39, so Tennessee Heat will likely get it back. And that's also a benefit for the Tennessee Heat with the ball going out of bounds. Stops the clock.
Yeah, it stops the clock for them. Able to get the Pack offense off the field, which is crucial for them if they want to try to get back in this game.
Yeomans almost had his punt block there as this will bounce all the way out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. And do want to clarify from earlier, we were told that the officials would have a timeout burn, or they would count a timeout for a team if they lost a challenge. And as far as we're aware, with the timeouts being kept, the Heat have not lost their timeout. So as far as I'm aware, they've got 3 in the half. Nobody's burned any timeouts yet.
No, but you're getting pretty close to the point where you want to be able to burn those timeouts. Maybe not on this offensive drive, depending on how long Pack may have the ball after this. If the Heat score and if they do onside kick and they happen to get it back, those timeouts are going to be crucial in any scenario.
I know we talked about how it felt like the Heat needed to score earlier on in the third quarter, but this is, especially down 15, this seems like it's crucial and no option. You have to get into the end zone.
It's getting close to do or die.
There's motion. Ashburn has got a little bit of time. A deep toss across the middle. How did he catch that in coverage? He lost the football, and the Pack Panthers get it back. Chance Lamb gets it back off of what looked like a catch by Wyatt Sutton, and it's a turnover.
I would take a peek at that because it looked like he didn't have firm control, didn't make a football move.
Yeah, and he already burned his challenge earlier, so he can't. I mean, the officials could review it if they wanted to. They could call for a review, but the officials are having a conversation. They're determining, they're piecing their angles together, and they might want to review this. Here's Nate Starr. For the Tennessee Heat, they had a replay that didn't go in their favor with the challenge, and now with the benefit of replay, they keep their hopes alive on a 2nd and 10. Yeah, James clarifying, never had possession of the football and never made a football move, which, again, it looked bang-bang in real time, but good call by Nate Starr and company. They'll hand it off up the middle. Another carry for Luke Luchtefeld as he gets to about the 27-yard line.
All right, you're about 3rd and long here. You might want to take a shot because running the ball has been effective to begin the game, but since then it really hasn't done you any good. So I would look for Graham Russell. He came up big several times. I'd look for Graham Russell or Ricky Scott. And that O-line's got to give Ashburn protection. Ashburn's been running for his life several times. So you got to give him time to make an accurate throw.
Yeah, Sutton and Hill heading to the sideline for this one too, so you might be right, and now they're trying to take a shot here.
Yeah, you got Graham Russell lined up at the bottom of your screen. You also got Wyatt Sutton up top in that stack formation.
Toss left side, incomplete on the 3rd down. Pass intended for Orbkey.
Now, do you go for it or do you punt it?
They have all 3 of their timeouts here. Your defense has not really been able to force a 3rd
But you'd be giving Pack the ball
That's
at
a challenge
27.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do here if you're Ryan Scott on a 4th
and you're still at a 4th and 7, 4th and 6. Looks like they're going to go for it.
I guess they must realize that their defense has just been struggling enough as is, because they could chunk it all the way down the field. The Pack Panthers could and just get some, as James says, dink and dunk plays. Right side pitch. Here's a chance for Wyatt Sutton. It's a lob. It's a flea flicker. Incomplete. Kyler Barkley. Halfback pass, my apologies. The pass intended. Kyler Barkley almost got an interception there and a turnover on downs. And that looks like Rocky Scott was the intended receiver, and he is down at about the 45, and you hate to see that, especially for Coach's son. And he's looking at him, needing the medical staff in a little bit, and they are going to stop for an injury timeout. We'll step aside. Romans, that's almost like the St. Andrews Swanee formations back in the days.
Oh, yeah. Went up that several times in my playing career against St. Andrews Swanee. We really do miss them in 8-man football.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, interesting play call there by Yeomans to give the ball to his son on that little sweep play right there.
I don't know if he's watching in any capacity, but Coach John Hargis, one of the great men to work with during the time in 2017 and 18 when we covered the St. Andrews Swanee, the Mountain Lions back out in the
had a lot of battles with them back in the day.
Oh, yeah. That was a fun time, man. It looks like either false start or encroachment. Who's it going to be on in this one?
Going back to Swanee, just brings back a lot of memories with Dustin Stinsby and Jalen Tillman, two great players. Really miss having St. Andrews Swanee in 8-man.
Had a 2nd and 4 after the offsides penalty is what was called, and clock winding down here with 6:25 remaining in regulation. The Pack Panthers possibly going to put a finishing touch here pending a Tennessee Heat stop, and you can tell they're just wanting to run out the clock here. They're not trying their usual formation.
Yeah, they're up 2 scores. They're going 4-minute right now, just kind of letting that clock wind down.
And there goes Yeomans again with the ball. And again, that's the question for Coach Scott. When do you start burning your timeouts?
You do it now. You do it now to try to get a stop. You're 3rd down and short. I'd call one right now to potentially stop that clock because you're going to have another 30 seconds roll off.
You know, you also think about it as well with this 22-7 situation, and think about if the Pack Panthers are able to finish it out here. The high school 8-man football season is going to end how it began in 2024 in the Southeast. And toss to the outside. That's Kyler Barkley for the touchdown, the statement to try and send the Panthers back to the national championship.
Ball game. Great job by Chance Lamb finding Kyle Barkley on that corner route, as it's now starting to look like the Pack Panthers, or the Freedom Cowboys, mind you, are going to get that rematch with the Pack Panthers. Can't wait for that one on Saturday.
28-7. This is turning into one of those matches that if you're on the losing end of it, you do not like to be a part of it. If you're on the winning end, you absolutely enjoy it. Tennessee Heat on their unfortunate struggles right now. As this 2-point conversion attempt for Chance Lamb, he's going to walk into the end zone practically untouched to make it 32-7. 5:14 left to go in regulation in this semifinal. Winner will face off against the Freedom Cowboys. The losing team will face off against the East Central Homeschool Patriots in the Division I consolation game, that occurring at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And if this plays out the way it is, it would be the runner-up versus runner-up and champion versus champion for the respective conferences.
Looks like Pack Panthers is going to put in some of their young guys, try to get them a little bit of experience before the championship game on Saturday.
.5:14 remaining in regulation here, and we've had a couple of mentions in this broadcast and throughout the day about our crew and everybody working hard and such. It's been a long day here in Vernon, again on site at 9 in the morning, so we've been here for about 12 hours and had to set up in the rain, which is supposed to be sunny, knock on wood, the rest of the weekend, as this will be picked up by Kanan Carter on the return. Can Carter spark some life into the Tennessee Heat offense, and a big tackle between the two players, between Barkley and Reinhardt. And you could tell clearly that Kanan Carter was a little bit, not Kanan Carter shaking up there, it was Johnny Tully who seems to be hobbling a little bit.
Yeah, big collision there on the kickoff return. Hope Tully's okay.
There were 3 confirmations on the day so far, so it actually wasn't a challenge for the Heat. It was a review called by Nate Starr and the officials. But this is the first time this was overturned on video evidence. Rest of the times they were all confirmed throughout the day. Last gasp for the Heat as this goes outside of the reach. Barkley looked like he was trying to intercept it there as the pass was intended for Rocky Scott, and the Heat now in desperation mode, down 23.
I believe that was intended for Graham Russell there on the outside all-conference receiver.
Yeah, it's between.
Oh, it was White Sutton, actually. It was White Sutton.
Okay, yeah, Sutton. It looked close on there. So now 4:59 on the clock. About a second down and 10, and the Heat down by so many scores. This is one of those kind of miracle situations you would need. A couple onside kicks, but first things first, there has to be some scores. Ashburn, deep toss left side. Russell flagged down. Flagged down about at the line of scrimmage, maybe illegal contact. Could also be a hold. We'll hear from Nate Starr.
Looks like there was pass interference right down here along the sideline.
Don't hear a holding call often on the defense. And it gives a little bit of spark here for the Heat, starting from the 49-yard line in Panthers territory. Again, a receiver in motion. Ashburn has got some time across the middle, and the catch is made. It's Wyatt Sutton. Wyatt Sutton with no flags and a touchdown. The Heat are back in business.
Just a poster out there for Wyatt Sutton. This 2-point is crucial to make it 14-13 or 14-30. Potential get an onside kick. Maybe get another quick score. 2 onside kicks and 2 quick scores. You got a tie ball game.
And I take it you go for 2 here. There's no
you have to.
Not entertaining the
you
PAT.
Have to.
Yep. Yeah, especially down by 17, and we didn't do, unless they want to try some field goals later on. But it's pretty much touchdown and or nothing at this point. Same with 2-point conversion attempts. They got in motion. There's Ashburn, toss left side. 2-point conversion is good. Great effort there by Russell in coverage, and it's 30-15.
Yeah, so probably an onside kick coming up here for the Tennessee Heat. And the Heat still have all 3 timeouts left. So we may have a little bit of an exciting ending if they're able to come up with this onside kick.
Certainly still a reasonable chance here. All the timeouts available for the Tennessee Heat to use. 15-point game. And the good news is because they have that guy who could kick PATs and or field goals, you only need a 2-point conversion attempt once.
Yeah, you need a field goal on the other. So not a bad spot to be in, but you still have to have a lot of things, a lot of lucky breaks to get in your favor.
First things first, you need an onside kick recovery here, unless you could somehow get a quick 4th and out. But the way the Pack offense was on that last drive, I don't anticipate that they're going to do anything that would endanger the clock being stopped. Here's Roush. Did touch off of Barkley, and wait a second, we might have a potential recovery here. Didn't have the ball secured, waiting on the signal, and the Pack Panthers keep the ball.
With the Pack Panthers having the ball, you got to think they're going to use all their timeouts right now.
And try to conserve as much time as possible with it being a 2-possession game. Someone's got a traffic cone down below here in the Pack Panthers sideline.
Legend.
And is trying to essentially use it as a vuvuzela.
Legend. Vuvuzela?
For those who are soccer fans, the vuvuzelas that are used at the World Cup.
Is this one of your fancy doctorate terms?
No, absolutely not. Lay him up the middle for a couple of yards. No, it's a vuvuzela. It's a thinner version of essentially.
I think you're the only one who's ever even researched that.
Ask anyone in the soccer scene; they know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think you're wrong.
James saying wrong football.
Spencer,
Yes, I will give you that.
Spencer, that's football. We're playing football.
I will give you that. It is. That's in football, not. They might have soccer here in Vernon. I don't know.
They might.
This might be the field they play their soccer games on, but
they might.
Sure, but maybe in the major cities for Major League Soccer. But yeah, a little bit of a distance. Nearest one I think is Orlando FC on the MLS scene. Anyway, 2nd down and 5. Lamb has got it on the outside. He's going to get the first down and tripped up at the 35-yard line and a new set of downs. Tripped up at the 35-yard line, and the clock will continue to run. Again, you still wonder when the
timeouts are going to come. Yeah, that you have precious time just running down the clock. That you could be getting timeouts. Your defense hasn't really played bad all day. You've only given up about 3 or 4 big plays. 2 of those resulted in touchdowns.
.3:15 left to go here in regulation. 35-yard line, Pack Panthers driving. Lead by 15 in this semifinal. Pitch in the backfield to Barkley. He's got space on the outside for the moment. A flag is down in the backside. We got a penalty. Unless I'm just mistaken and that's somebody's yellow cleat. It looked like it was a flag. Or actually, no, they will move it back. They do move it back at least. At the 46-yard line, and the clock will continue to run. $15 points separate these two teams from a national championship appearance on Saturday night with the Freedom Cowboys. Another pitch to Barkley. Barkley trying to weave through. And he almost lost the football for a little bit. Immediately clasped back upon by Patterson and Barkley. Okay, so they did have a timeout that was used. So I thought it was if they lost a challenge, they got a timeout. So now they've only got 1 timeout remaining.
We also have Graham Russell on the ground right now.
Yeah, and they had to burn a timeout there, and Graham Russell down on the field. We will step aside for an injury timeout. was actually Jake Wogan, who was the player that went to the sideline. He was injured. Hoping all the best for him. 2:29 left to go as the Heat have one timeout left to work with. This is a carry up the middle, and I believe that was Sean McNulty carried it up. Final timeout for the Heat. They'll burn their final timeout here. 15-point difference. A third down here. First down if it happens here, all intents and purposes, the game is over. It's still a mountain to climb for the – still a huge mountain to climb here for the Tennessee Heat if they want to make it back. But stop is no longer – it's not an optional here.
Yeah, you got to get a stop here if you want to try to get something to happen. You're in about 3rd and 5 here. No, sorry, 3rd and 15 here. So – you don't have time to burn it. You don't have another timeout to burn. So even with this play, they're going to get it down to a minute 40, pending if they don't get the first down here. And even with a little bit time, we'll roll off as well with the play on 4th down.
From the 39-yard line, potentially the game-sealing play here, or the chance for the Heat to have some sort of renewed life. Lamb, right side, the catch is made, and looks like he's going to be well short of the first down marker.
Just let that clock roll. Just let it roll down.
McFarland on the reception, 4th down. And again, in normal circumstance, usually inside the 40 in enemy territory, they will go for it. But in this case, you could try to pin him deep, but not really much of a difference here. Maybe they burn a timeout. With
either way, they lost all their timeouts. They're going to be scrambling in 2 minutes. So
I was talking about the Pack Panthers, like they could waste as much time as possible and then call a timeout.
Yeah.
Well, they got 3 seconds to snap the ball, and
yeah,
they do. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on the money there.
Minute 39 left to go here in the game, and it's very rare that we see eight-man football teams in the high school scene ever try to pin him deep on a punt or pin him in the corner. You think this would be the time to do that?
I would try to get a good little sky kick up, maybe get it bounced inside the 10, maybe have it roll out, or even a little squib punt, trying to pin them back deep, because then you would have no timeouts. They would have to drive the length of the field to try to at least get within 1 score, and that drive alone may take up the rest of the time. So really, I would try to pin them deep, but it looks like they may try to punt it. Oh, no, they're going to go for it. Lamb is on the field.
It's usually Yeomans is their punter, unless they want to do just a quib kick here. Quick kick. But they won't. Lamb on the scramble to the left side. He gets the toss off, overthrew his intended target of Evan Watt, and a turnover on downs forced by the Heat defense.
All right, you got a minute 35, no timeouts. You got to drive the length of almost the length of the field. Ball's gonna be set up inside the 30. So you really got to get a bunch of quick. You probably got to take a few shots deep to at least to get in position to get that quick game going to try to get another score to go within 1 score.
Very much the last gasp of life for the Heat. No timeouts. Minute 35 in regulation. Toss left side, catch is made. Luchtefeld to the left side, tiptoeing the sideline, and they rule him out of bounds. It was pretty clear he stepped on the white here at about the 50-yard line, which does stop the clock for him.
Yeah, good chunk of yardage to pick up are there on the little option route right there. Clock stops as Luchtefeld stepped out of bounds. Had opportunity to get a little bit more. That foot just slipped out of bounds. They're going to back the ball up to the 49-yard line. Looked like he might have stepped out of the 47, but they're going to back it up.
Impact territory in one play. Luchtefeld, air out on the middle. It's incomplete. Pass intended for Wyatt Sutton. A great pass defended by Evan Watt. Redemption for not being able to get the catch there.
Fantastic coverage by Evan Watt, laying out for that one, breaking it up. Otherwise, it might have been another Heat touchdown there because Sutton definitely would have taken that to the house if it hadn't been for Evan Watt.
And Sutton on the year, 3 receiving touchdowns heading into last week's conference championship.
Sutton out. You got Graham Russell down at the bottom of the screen. Look for them to go that way. You also got Rocky Scott.
Looking for Russell on the left side, trying to get past and couldn't get it. It was in between his hands for the incompletion.
All right, now you're setting up 3rd and long. Clock stops. You got 1:13. You got at least 33 seconds to kind of get your play call into Ashburn. Looks like Sutton's going to stay out of the game, so they're probably going to go back to Russell, try to get a quick pass off to Rocky Scott. He's one of your best route runners. Graham Russell's kind of your deep threat. You try to get the best that you can when it comes to yardage.
Left side, Russell with the catch. Can he get out of bounds? He tried to cut inside, and he did get out of bounds. They're going to run the clock. He was stopped forward progress inbounds. Now, they do stop it for the first down, but 62 seconds left.
Got a minute left. You might want to kill the clock. I would at least spike it. The clock is running. You got to get a play call in. You got a little bit of miscommunication between the center and the quarterback.
Yeah, it shaves down about 11, 12 seconds, and they snap it off in 13. Ashburn across, Russell, he'll get to the out-of-bounds sideline, 41.1 to go. Where was this up? I'm wondering where this offense was. Wait, I think we got a flag in the backfield. So hang on a second. we
may have something brewing here.
You still got the onside kick if they do end up scoring here, but 41.1, they get it moved closer down to the 10-yard line.
Got 41 seconds. You got at least 3 shots going into the end zone. You got 1st and goal. You got 4 shots, actually. You got 4 shots to the end zone.
Ashburn and Luchtefeld have been in the backfield together pretty much all night long. They get the players set. They do send a player in motion. Looking across the middle. Incomplete pass intended for Rocky Scott.
Clock stops. You got a little bit of time to get a play call in. You got 3 more chances.
And certainly on this one, you score the touchdown, you go for the PAT. Because you got an 8 and 7.
I would say you try. I mean, yes, you go for the PAT. You want to get those almost automatic points.
Well, it's also because you don't need the 2-point conversion.
But also, you got the pressure. If you get the onside kick and you do haven't scored, you got that pressure of that 2-point conversion hanging in the balance. So you really got a tough choice to make to go for 1 or 2 if you're able to get this in the end zone.
Toss to the right side of the end zone, trying to go up top, incomplete, intended for Wyatt Sutton.
Clock stops again with 29 seconds left on the game clock. You got 2 more chances, 3rd down and goal. You haven't been able to complete a pass in the end zone yet on this drive. Credit to the Heat to get a good drive going to set yourself up inside, but you are wasting a lot of time with those long developing plays. Even if you do get a score, you're only about to have 17 seconds, so even if you are to score and get the extra point in the onside kick, you may only have 1 or 2 plays left.
Toss too high, and it's a 4th and goal. Last gasp for the Heat.
Last gasp for the Heat. You want to go to your automatic guy, Graham Russell, not Carter Sutton, sorry, his brother Wyatt Sutton. Has had a few good receptions, but you want to go to your go-to guy. Go to your all-conference guy, Graham Russell. He's the guy that can go up and get it. If you are the Tennessee Heat, that's who I'm putting my trust in right now.
4th and goal from the 10.
Look at that slant route. Look at Graham Russell.
Looking for outside. Russell, touchdown.
Now they're saying he dropped the ball.
The ball did pop out towards the end. The question about did he survive the ground, but ruled a touchdown.
Looks like Yeomans may pull out the challenge flag.
for the 2-point conversion early on and going to the left side. Graham Russell has got it. 7-point game.
7-point game. You got to get the onside kick here, and you'll have about 3 plays if you are able to get the onside kick.
And to clarify, the ruling on the field stands. I believe they said stands or confirmed touchdown on that. So 30-23. Onside kick is your last hope here, and maybe, like you said, 2, maybe 3
Maybe
plays.
3. Maybe 3 if you're lucky. You got to think. You're going to have 3 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds maybe tick off the clock on the onside kick. So then you're looking at 16 seconds. You got about probably 2 to 3 shots to the end zone, depending on how long the play develops.
Well, it turned out to be an exciting set of semifinals here in the Division I side, and it even sets up for incredible contests all on Saturday.
Yeah, both games going to be interesting. The fate of this one is still hanging in the balance with this onside kick coming up. We might have previewed that Freedom Pack game a little bit too early.
Well, we'll see. Last gasp for the Tennessee Heat, going about the distance, and it did not go enough yards, and they touch it at the 49-yard line. That's going to wrap it up. Box score on that Freedom Pack game, 8-0 first quarter, 6-0 second quarter. So it's 14-0 at the half. Touchdown for Freedom in the third, touchdown in the fourth, then that 14-12 in favor of the Pack Panthers.
I think we're going to get a game really similar to that, but Freedom wasn't showing their entire offense. Jonathan Callan got the start in that one. Javion Barnes really didn't come on until late in the season, so really excited for that matchup. We're in for a great, great D1 championship game.
Final knee down of Thursday's festivities. The games are confirmed for Saturday. The consolation will be the Tennessee Heat, facing off against the East Central Homeschool Patriots, and your national championship for Division I will be between the Freedom Cowboys and the Pack Panthers. And that is going to wrap up our coverage here from Vernon, Florida for today. Just a reminder for you, 10 a.m. on Saturday, we have the Division II consolation game between the Coastal Homeschool Hurricanes and the Southern Prep Academy Fighting Rangers. Division I consolation game at 1 p.m. Saturday between the East Central Homeschool Patriots and the Tennessee Heat. Division II championship between the Southern Christian Patriots and River Oaks School Mustangs. And then the national championship for Division I, the Pack Panthers versus the Freedom Cowboys. For Eli Cornett, Theodore Fernandez, our producer James Shannon, director Will Morrow, all the hardworking men and women that make this run so smoothly, I'm Spencer Thompson saying so long from Vernon. The Freedom Cowboys get the victory 30-23 over the Tennessee Heat. My apologies, Pack Panthers with the victory over the Tennessee Heat.